Hi friends, I'm back with a Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram in the community tag if you had any questions for me, and you did. So today is just going to be a little chatty. Get ready with me while I answer your questions. So please like if you like it, subscribe if you like it, and hit the thumbs up button. It's a free way you can help me out. I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. All right, enjoy. Let's pull this hair back. Finally letting my hair grow out a little bit. I've done my brows, I've got my eye base on. I think I want to use the Odin's Eye Hummingbird palette from Tina the Fancy Face. I know they just came out with Angelica's palette, but I'm not picking it up, but in the spirit of that release, I'm gonna use Tina's and answer some of these questions. I got my coffee, I got my puppies in here, so let's chat. So the first question I got was, what is your favorite food to eat? What are you eating? What do you have? Anywho, that's very easy. As a Florida girl, seafood is my absolute favorite food, and specifically anything shellfish. Crab legs are my favorite, but I love scallops, I love clams. Basically, if it comes out of the ocean, I love it. And all three of my kids take after me. There's not a lot of food I don't love. I just like to eat. Not all food loves me. So if you have an autoimmune disorder or an inflammatory disorder like I do, a lot of things are not your friend. And that really sucks. But fortunately, my favorite foods are on the list of things I can have. I feel like seafood is one of those things that divides people. Either they absolutely love it or they hate it. I feel like there's not a lot of in-between people when it comes to seafood. You'll have to let me know where you guys stand on this topic. The next question was, how long does it take you to get ready in the morning? And this answer varies. I think it just depends on what kind of look I'm doing. I can do a natural look in about 15-20 minutes. I can kind of do like just a soft glam with all the steps in about 45 minutes. But when I'm getting ready, I like to leave myself plenty of time. I don't like to rush. So the ideal amount of time I have to get ready would be like an hour and a half. And I feel like that's okay because with my hair being short, I don't really have to spend a ton of time on it. So I just use that extra time for the makeup. So the next question is, if I could go anywhere in the world, where would I go? And I actually have a few places on my list for that. So I know that on my mother's side, most of my family is Irish, Scottish, and Welsh. So I would love to visit those places. I'm really interested in just kind of seeing about my genealogy and stuff like that. That stuff fascinates me. And that side of the family has been here in the States for a while. But my dad, their family, I believe, were Irish, and they immigrated here fairly later on, around the time, like the potato famine. A lot of people from Ireland immigrated here. But my dad adopted me, so on my paternal side of my sperm donor, which is what I call him because I never had a relationship with him. But it's still interesting to find out that side of my genealogy. And recently I actually looked into that, and they were my great-great-grandfather, paternal grandfather came here from I'm trying to think about the map, from Germany near the Netherlands, if I'm remembering correctly. And they were Jewish. And he was a rabbi when he first came to the States. So in my research, I found that that's a different area that I'm from. And it looked like maybe some Nordic genes in there too. So I'd love to go to maybe like the Netherlands and Sweden and Denmark and that area. But as I said, I am a Florida girl, so I have a special place in my heart for the beach. So I would also love to go somewhere like Bali or Thailand, somewhere with blue water. And I feel like being a Florida person, you're either an Atlantic side Atlantic Coast Floridian or a Gulf Coast Floridian, and I am definitely a Gulf Coast Floridian. I always love these shadows. I always have a good time with them. Also, on TikTok, I saw this place called Raccoon Island. And for those that don't know, I'm obsessed with raccoons. I low-key want one. I would love to rescue raccoons. But apparently there's this place called Raccoon Island, and it looks like heaven. So that's another place. So yeah, all that to say, those are some of the places, if I could go anywhere, I would like to go. The next person asked was, did you always want to be an MUA, a makeup artist? And that kind of goes into the next question, was if you could be anything, what would you be? And when I was a kid, I was obsessed with makeup and hair and nails and all that stuff, but I was also always wanted to be a singer. Had to change my camera battery, so we're back. So what was the question? Oh, okay. So yeah, I always loved anything beauty, and I wanted to be a singer. And I come from a very, very long line of cosmetologists and barbers. My great-grandpa was a barber, and funny enough, that barber shop is still open. It has been, it's going on the third generation in our family, and it is still open to this day in Mulberry, Florida. If you would like to go there, it's Brown's Barbershop. My cousin Seth runs it, and then his daughter, my great-grandfather's daughter, my grandmother, she was a beautician, which is what they called it back then, and my mom was one for a while, and my cousins own a shop in Mulberry also. So yes, it was always a huge part of my life. And I used to get in trouble for, if you watch the video where I did my mom's makeup, I'll put it in here. I used to get in trouble for getting into her Mary Kay. Did anybody else's mom or auntie sell Mary Kay? But yeah, I first went to cosmetology school pretty much right out of high school. I was a teen mother, so I couldn't go to college. So it was a good way to make money, doing something I liked. And it's always been something I bounced in and out of. I don't know if it's the ADHD. I don't know if it's being a Capricorn. I don't know what it is, but I change my mind a lot, and I can be indecisive. Maybe it's because I'm in ENFP too, if anybody does Myers-Briggs, I don't know. So I've heard we get bored easy. But yeah, so the first time I went to beauty school, that was down in Florida. And then I moved to Pennsylvania and had to go to school there too, because they didn't grant Florida reciprocity. So I've actually been to cosmetology school twice. But around the age of 18, I started really taking the singing seriously and started competing, and actually did really well with that and won some awards in Florida. And I've opened for a lot of cool people and done a lot of cool things. I was on a reality singing show. I'll have to tell that story one time. That was very interesting, very eye-opening about these reality shows. And yeah, I've also made my living as a singer, mainly in secular music, but for the past 10 years it's been in gospel contemporary music, and yeah, did that as a job up until recently. I'm gonna take a little bit of this spring equinox highlighter from Danessa Myricks and use that in my inner corner. It goes so well. For a brief time, I did go to nursing school, and I worked in healthcare for a little while. That was before my son was born, and I really enjoyed that a lot, and I learned a lot. So yeah, basically I've always done what I wanted to do. And the next question is, do you dye your own hair? And if I do, what dye do I use? And I use a combination of things. Normally when I do the blue, I like the Arctic Fox Aquamarine. And this time I lightened it with a cream bleach. And this is Pulp Riot Cupid. And I do cut and color my own hair usually when I need a trim or just like a shape up. There's a great barbershop here in the Atlanta area. It's Benny's Dominican Barbershop, and I love that place. And they have the most incredibly talented barbers there. They're total rock stars. That's another thing too, just a tip to save a little cash. Barbershops tend to be less expensive, and they're just as skilled. And so if you just need a trim or a shape up, or like me, when I've had my pixie, I go to a barbershop. Also, barbershops are more fun, in my opinion. I'm trying to make this Dior Forever matte work. I'm still testing it out. I'll give you guys an update. I already did a review on it, and it was fine. But I'm trying some different things. Not liking this powder. Can Charlotte fix it? Help me, Charlotte. I think that might make it worse. Next question. I'm gonna try these M Cosmetics Serum Blush. I've had these a while and just hadn't got into them. This is the shade Rose Milk. So the next question is, what are some of my ride or die makeup products? I think I actually have a lot. But I've been obsessed with the NYX Lift and Snatch brow pens since they came out. I am ride or die for Estee Lauder Double Wear. I use it in my kit. It works for everybody. I can make it work for everybody. I think a lot of people don't realize how versatile that foundation is. It can be sheared out or built up, and it's a product I always go to. Also, RCMA foundation, same thing. Also, I'll never buy another sponge again as long as Shop Miss A keeps making these little marshmallows. They're so good. Lash Princess mascara. This L'Oreal Magic Perfecting Base. One of the best primers for everybody. And of course, good old Duraline. You can do so much with this. It's amazing. Someone said, what is the most crucial step to a cohesive eye look? And in my opinion, it is undertone. Because if you don't have complementary undertones, things can get really muddy and just not go. Now, so believe it or not, even let's say you were gonna do like orange and blue together is a good example. Like, I love that. And believe it or not, blue can have a warmer undertone or a cooler undertone. Same with, an orange or red or a yellow. And I think if you've ever worked with them, you know what I'm talking about. So just paying attention to the undertones, I think, is one of the most crucial steps to creating a cohesive eye look. Speaking of eyes, the next two questions are pretty deep. One was, what set you on the path to becoming who you are? And for that one, I have to say, sorry if you hear the dogs milling about. I have to say it was probably my grandmama. My grandmama did a lot of my raising, and she was my favorite person in the whole world. She had so much faith and just was probably one of the best people I've ever met in my whole life. She was always supportive, even when I did things she didn't agree with or when I was wilding out. And I just feel like everybody needs someone to affirm them and to support them. And like I said, even when I didn't necessarily live how she would have liked me to, it never felt like judgment or anything like that. She was just the best, and it makes me sad that not everybody has somebody like that in their lives. Now the final one is from the same person, and it was more of a statement than a question, but she said, what set you on the path to becoming who you are? You always seem so strong and confident. And I would say yes and no. There's definitely things that I am confident about and things that I'm not. But I am very, very bad for second guessing myself. I think a lot of us are. I am better at being someone else's cheerleader than I am my own most of the time. And to be honest, I've very rarely met people who were truly as confident as they made themselves out to be. And I think that's okay, because sometimes we have to manifest it. Sometimes we have to not necessarily fake it till we make it, but scripture in the Bible says the power of life and death is in the tongue. And whether you're a Christian or not, I think a lot of people believe that. That's what manifesting things are about. That's what vision boards are about. That's a lot of times we have to convince ourselves. We have to uplift ourselves. And I really think that's a principle anybody can use. I think a big part of being confident is knowing who you are. and being happy or okay with who you are, even faults. Just because you're confident doesn't mean that you have it all together or you think you're perfect. I actually think it's the opposite. I think it's knowing you have weaknesses and being okay with that, because everybody does. I think age plays into it a lot too, because when we're younger, we think, we've got it to have it all together because we see people that are successful or, living their best life. They don't have it all together. And I think as you get older, you realize that. Also, I feel like the older I get, the less F's I have to give. And that also just came with age and time. I've been at points in my life where it was all I could do to survive and get by. And I think a lot of times that has a lot to do with it too. Another big thing I think comes from a saying I heard. I can't remember who said it, but it said comparison is the thief of joy. And especially on social media, you can drive yourself crazy comparing yourself to other people. And all that really does is make you feel worse about yourself. So I think not comparing yourself really can help you be more confident. And again, it's really hard in the day of social media, but also surrounding yourself with people who hype you up. You don't have to be around people who make you feel like crap about yourself. Boundaries are a good thing, and there are plenty of people out there who are good people, and they will have your back and they will hype you up. Some of them are in the comments, so just hang out here and you'll find them. We do not play petty games on this side of the beauty community. Y'all, these new Shockwave nude liners from LA Girl, so good. Alright, I'm gonna throw some lashes on. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and this is the final look. I like it. I've enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I hope you learned a little bit about me. I hope you enjoyed what you learned about me. But yeah, I want to do this again soon. My husband and I are going to be celebrating 15 years soon, so maybe we'll do a not so newlywed version at some point, if that's something you guys would be interested in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I love you all so much, and I will see you again next time. Bye.